The September 6th Nintendo Direct was delayed this morning to an unspecified date, but Dataminers, as they like to do, may have picked their way into a potential new date game. We're looking at some Splatoon 2 Dataminers who looked through the stage that was going to be part of the new ranked rotation pool, Starfish Main Stage, and that was going to begin on September 7th. Well, now that has been removed, and the current rotations are preset until September 14th. Also, if you look into the date in the code, the Salmon Run gear that was scheduled to launch on September 7th, it also has been moved to September 14th. So the thought here is that the Direct is going to be next Thursday, September 13th, and therefore the updates would hit the day after, similar to how it would have been the 6th and the 7th. But I will add one extra bit of info. This change was made within an hour of Nintendo announcing the delay, so there are some people that think this is a placeholder and the Direct could happen sooner than a week.
Okay, so that's instantly where my mind goes. I was like, okay, there's no way they already know that the Direct is going to happen on that exact day.
I think they have to know.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. At this point, I'm convinced of it because some people are even like speculating that the reason they gave for delaying it isn't the only reason they're delaying it. And this is all conspiracy theory stuff. It's just random people on the internet talking. It's nothing credible whatsoever. But if for some reason Nintendo did want to delay the Direct for other reasons, like such as like things not being ready and, you know, an extra week of having things to marinate and get things a little bit more prepared, like if it all kind of like lines up, then this makes a whole lot of sense, because we also saw that there was a Mega Man 11 update that was thrown onto the eShop. Dataminers coming through once again, and people did speculate like, hey, could maybe the Mega Man 11 demo that we've heard about be one of those things that just like drops out of nowhere for eShop? Right. That was going to be a pretty cool thing. On top of that, like Yoshi was leaked the name of that, so there was a lot of stuff that was going to line up for today, and we're still getting like small tidbits. But what do you feel like? Do you think that they consciously delayed this? Like,
I'm going to go on the record and say I 100% think that this delay was in response and out of respect to those disasters.
Yes.
And I think that a day delay or something of that sort may be awkward. Also, if they have things lined up like this Splatoon thing where they want to announce them and then have them release, does it make sense to like have the Direct on a Friday and then it drops on a Saturday? There's probably just some logistical things that they have to go through. But I will say that given all those logistical elements, they probably need to be pretty quick with this. And I don't know if you feel like a week is quick or not quick, but you know, if there was like a Mega Man demo, they don't want to mess up the marketing cycle for Capcom. If there was going to be like a Warframe drop or another indie game or something of the sort that was to launch right after, they don't want to mess that up or then clutter a subsequent date. And if there were going to be trailers revealed or presentations for Mario Party or a news, like these things are all on such thought out timetables that it's not like you don't have a whole lot of room to wiggle here. And maybe they just feel like, hey, a week is enough time to be respectful. A week makes sense so that it follows the same pattern, the same plan, and like just how they like to do things. Like maybe they don't want to be on like a Monday.
Yeah, and I agree with you, by the way, just if that wasn't clear. I fully think that this is just like, hey, out of respect to, you know, our country.
Right.
So
well, and let's also make note, I don't know if everyone knows this, but NDQ, who are responsible for the upcoming Super Mario Party, which figures to be at least some part of the Direct, they were in the area affected. So not that, this was a live presentation or anything of that sort. It's pre-recorded as they are. But like that, I'm sure like also played a significant role in like, okay, hey, a studio that's going to be featured, people that are going to be like, let's give them time and let's space this out and make sure that they have enough to, you know, get situated. And I think a week would do that.
You briefly touched on this one thing that I wanted to talk about. Right, Warframe is where I want to go with this. I fully believe that that's a drop of the day of the Direct. I've always thought that. So now that it's like a week later, did they just kind of like tell like, you know, the people over at Panic Button and like, hey guys, a week later now, but like, you know, you have another week.
The behind the scenes, like, again, is very interesting because if we are to believe the Mega Man thing, is that a demo that was going to drop on all platforms or just on the Switch? If it is the Warframe thing, did they have a whole marketing blitz ready to go out today? How does that all work behind the scenes? And I'm sure that there's a lot of good people that have to be very quick on their feet. Maybe none of these things were scheduled to drop, and it's just a lot of internal things that need to be adjusted, which would be easier. But I'm sure at some level there were calls made and adjustments that had to be, you know, resituated. And you can't predict these kinds of things. You can't predict natural disasters, and so you roll with the punches. and I'm sure they'll do just fine. But yeah, that was something that I thought was interesting. Like, okay, given how many companies are usually involved in these directs, or even just think about a new announcement, right? Just even the PR, timetables for that, or how that works out. I don't know. It's interesting, and I don't think any dates. Well, I guess except something that was supposed to drop immediately, or like the Splatoon stuff. But I don't think any like games are going to be affected by this. It just might be some more of the like, hey, a demo is dropping today. Now it's next week.
Yeah, I briefly thought about that just because, NDQ being, like, affected. I did wonder, like, if they're, like, close to being done but not quite done and then they're affected, like, is there any chance we get a Mario Party delay? I had that thought. I don't think we do. I think the game's...
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think the game's done for the most part. But
Yeah,
it's so close. I'm sure the game's, like, if not gold, very close to going gold. And they can get that out in time just because, again, the date's so close. But, yeah, that was a thought that did pop into my head, though.
So September, what would it be? September 13th would be the date of the direct, which makes sense to me. I think, again, shifting to another Thursday makes sense, pushing everything back a week. There is the possibility, like I said, that this is just Splatoon 2 placeholding, whatever, and maybe Nintendo announces it. I would assume that, I don't know, I think tomorrow we get something from Nintendo, Friday, like updating us, like, hey, maybe not. Maybe they wait till the weekend and just say, like, hey, we're not going to even touch this subject until some time has passed. They could do that. They have no problem announcing things like tomorrow. So yeah, maybe we don't find out until next week. But I'm gonna put my money behind a September 13th direct.
Yeah, and while on the topic of Splatoon a little bit, that's going to be a good time for me to try to jump back into the Salmon Run, because that is like the most underutilized part of that game for me. I played through the campaign, I played a ton of the multiplayer stuff, Octo Expansion is fantastic. Salmon Run is just something that I never spent a lot of time with, so I'm hoping that whatever this update ends up being, it incentivizes me to jump on in there. Hopefully you can join me, Zach, and we'll have some fun on there. But yeah, seems like the major Splatoon update is coming, and I do tend to agree that next week is when it's going to go down.
I do wonder how major it'll be. I mean, the stuff they're discussing here isn't all that huge. They promised a certain amount of content, and I don't know like how much they'll extend beyond that. But to me, it's just fascinating that so much can be garnered just from like these data mines, right? Like that these diligent miners can go and find so much stuff.
Like, how does that... Nintendo can't be okay with these things, right? So, like, is there nothing they... Because data miners are, like, becoming a focal point of the Nintendo community, for better or for worse. And so much information comes through them. Like, is there nothing Nintendo can do to stop that? Like, it doesn't bug me, but...
I think they try. I mean, they're making updates to the Switch hardware, and, we even see in 6.0 that's a... Like, part of it is to combat against, maybe that's more on the homebrew and the emulation side of things.
Exactly.
Or the hacking side of things, rather. But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's ways that they try to tighten this up. I wanted to get my 2 cents in on Yoshi's Crafted World as well, and I do wonder, I think it's unlikely, but I do wonder if, given the delay, given the weird whatever's going on in development, like, is there any potential that there is a Labo tie-in? Crafted cardboard, it looks like it. Labo isn't going away. There's a rumored 4th pack. Like, is there any chance that Yoshi has been hiding because he's working on his cutout cardboard game?
And his taxes. He wants to make sure he's good.
My concern also is, like, okay, he was finally ready to come out of his, like, hole, and then now, is he going to just... What if he's just not ready next week? What if he's just like, okay, that was the chance. It's over. See you next year, Nintendo. Smell you later. I'm out. Bye. He had one shot.
He's a dinosaur, not a gopher. Like, he's not gonna go back into hiding.
Listen, but there's not a lot of dinosaurs out there, so he's developed habits that we couldn't even begin to understand.
Regardless, to answer your question,
he's a man of a different era.
To answer your question,
he's a beast of a different land. He's a creature of a different millennia.
To answer your question,
I'm worried.
All right, I just want to answer your question.
Labo, yes.
I do think that there's a possibility of a Labo tie-in. It would make perfect sense. They're, bringing it to... I mean, they already did it, not bringing to Mario Kart. They probably want to do more things with Labo going forward. Yoshi's like a perfect way to do it, but how do you implement that is the issue. Like, I can't think of any way. But, we're also not at Nintendo, so...
Yeah, I guess it would have to be some sort of integration with either some... I mean, we've seen enough gameplay, I think, to know that it's not like, oh, Yoshi rolls around in a cardboard egg and like that's how you interact with the world. But again, we haven't seen the game in a long time, so things could have changed. Maybe they made adjustments. Crafted World is, it's a sequel to Woolly. I mean, right? It sounds a lot like Woolly World. So
I wish I would have kept the alliteration and done like crafted continent or something. Like,
yeah. Crafted Castle. Yoshi's Crafted Castle.
Yeah, something. I don't like that. But yeah, whatever.
On one hand, I really don't want a game to require in any capacity like Labo integration, but at the same time, one thing that we've always said would help legitimize or bring Labo into more of our sphere is if it was tied to a proper title, and this would do that.
I don't think that it's to be required in any way. I think if it's in there at all, it's gonna be something.
What if it comes with it? What if Yoshi Crafted World comes with a little cardboard egg?
No
it's like
way.
mini Labo. It's your gateway drug to Labo. It's like, hey, big boy, you want to get a little Labo? Now you're gonna go get the vehicle kit. You're gonna get the robot kit. This is your first.
That's part
tiptoe
of
into the waters of Labo.
That's part of Nintendo's marketing. Hey, big boy.
Well, because Labo's for like younger kids or people that have kids. But then, hey, if you're in that in between stage where you're not a boy and you're not a dad, or you're not a girl and you're not a mom,
you're a big boy. You're a big girl.
Yeah, and this is how they appeal to that. Okay, I don't think Yoshi's Crafted World has a significant Labo portion, but I do think there will be Labo integration. They put it in Mario Kart.
I don't think not day and date. Listen,
I do.
Gentleman's
I think
bet.
launch day.
Gentleman's bet. Zach.
Okay, all right.
Gentleman's
Yep.
bet.
Labo on launch for Yoshi Crafted.
I see no way. Not on launch. At some point, sure, just not on launch.
I also want to know what stress levels does Sakurai feel when he's like so ready for the day in his trailer, and then like he's so worried about how like I just picture him. He's like taking a couple of Ativan, and he's just like ready to go and just chill and like, okay, how are they going to react? How are the fans going to take this? This person's going to be in. This person's going to be an assist trophy, and now I mean, he probably got a lot more to worry about, but now he has to like sort of de-escalate and re-hype for later.
Yeah, Sakurai's a super interesting creature. We love him over here, and we hope he's cool, and we hope he's good, and we hope he gets some rest in this week.
And we hope that whatever he has is just as pleasing as King K. Rool.
I don't want to talk about it for too long, but spirit mode. I told you this. Just the other day. I said, hey, they said it's
Could be part of it.
Yeah, I'm now wondering if that's gonna be part of the direct, not because of this delay or anything like that. And there's no.
I don't think. Let's be honest. I don't think any of the content adjusts at all.
Other than dates, then yeah, no.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like, oh, this gets added or this gets removed or anything of that sort.
I wish we could know for sure.
Capcom's like, screw it, Nintendo. You don't get the Mega Man demo anymore. There's just no way.
No. I'm not going like that far, but maybe like they're adjusting something. I don't know. Again, just people on the internet molding the way I think.
But here's the deal. I like, and yes, they could add or remove, but this thing is done.
Yeah, of course. But
it's just like they have to press the button.
Yeah, but they could add or remove, of course. And we will never know if something was added or removed. That's the big mystery
until we retire from YouTube and become Nintendo detectives and go investigate these awesome theories and queries that we have. Let us know what you think about the Direct moving to next Thursday. Does that make sense? And how you feel about some of the things that are rumored to be there, and just in general, how you're feeling about the Splatoon update, about maybe a Mega Man demo, about Gabe's very, very, very confident Warframe prediction, and our gentleman's bet about Crafted World, including a little bit of cardboard goodness on launch day.
No.
Yes. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoy your weekend. And make sure to subscribe to save a date. And always, and greatest from the Switch will let you know once that Direct is announced. You can also find out on Twitter and our Discord. Links to those in the description below. Until next time, again, thank you so much for watching. Fantastic day. Switch Force out.